So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the the 6 weeks internship bootcamp and internship, right? So basically, today we're going to be taking more. I'm going to be taking more of your questions, and let's see how it goes, right? So and then we have about 5 minutes before this meeting ends. So I want to take as much questions as possible, and I don't know if other people are still joining, but if anybody in this meeting currently has any question, you can just drop it now, ask me, or drop it on the chat so I'll answer. So a couple of persons have reached out to me on DMs, and I asked them to maybe come to the class and ask the questions, so at least if maybe one or two other persons need clarification too. So as I'm answering the question, I'll be able to answer everybody's own at the same time. So if you have a question, you can maybe unmute yourself and then ask.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. So I was one that said like 6 questions, five basically questions on the book earlier today.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
so you can ask them one after the other, so I can answer them correct now.
So in the recording you that was sent in the group this morning, I've actually watched the class and I noticed that you explained three styling types like
Yeah,
internal
external
and
and
core.
yeah.
In Yeah, so I just want to clarify if there is like a specific time we are required to use inline, internal or external, or we can just like, okay, like for someone like me now, I just prefer the simple ways of doing things. So, and I feel like the inline study is quite straightforward and simple. Just fix it in the paragraph, um, just fix it in paragraph and it's done. So I just want to ask if there's like probably some kind of projects that would require someone to like have the internal or external um type.
Okay. So to answer that question, basically, right? So you are free to use internal whenever you want. You are free to use external, and you are free to use inline. But here is what happens. Here is the caveat here now, right? Now, when we start writing a lot of code and start doing designs, right? Now, our code start getting bulky and then it start getting long. Like I think let me just pull up okay, let me share my screen and then pull up that code that we had, right? The only reason that I used internal like inline styling throughout was because I noticed that me switching it out and then going back and forth within what's it called the tutorial, I'm going to waste a lot of time, and then looking at that tutorial alone, it's almost 2 hours long, right? So now basically, now if you just want to style a particular element, I don't know, can you see my screen? Okay.
Yeah, sure, I can see it.
Okay, let me pull up that code. Now, if basically what you want to just style is a particular element, like just a particular tag, doesn't require much, it's advisable to use inline, right? Now, if okay, I talked about order of presidency, right? I talked about order of presidency. That when you have an
Yeah.
inline code, you have an internal and then you have an external. The inline code it's more effective. Then the next more effective one, like that has more power, is the internal, then the external. Now, why? Most of the times when you start working on big projects, right? When you start working on big projects, it's advisable to use external styling, right? Now, because for example, we can have a particular style. Let's say we have a particular style, or a custom color, for example, and that custom color we want to use that same color in three other pages, right? Now, in a web page, in a website, basically a website is a collection of different web pages, which means in a website A website is just basically a collection of different HTML pages. Now we can have in a website, like for example, let's take this website that I'm looking at, this our text editor. This home section is a page on its own. This app is a page on its own. Deployment is a page on its own. Usage is a page on its own. All of these things are .html page on its own. So if you can, I don't know, if you see the bottom of this page, at the down right left, right, is it left? Yeah, left, at the bottom left. So each time I move to a new link, you see like it changes, right? At the left, at the bottom left, I think it's small. Let me know if I can increase this a bit.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so you see deployment has its own link, usage has its own link, all of this has their own links, right? All of this has their own links. Now,
Yeah.
now what happens is that when you have all of your style inline, for example, and then you're working on a big project, what happens is that it will make you to start repeating code. Like you have a lot of repetitions now, and then there's this principle with programming which is called DIY. So DIY, so don't repeat code. Like try as much as possible not to repeat it. Like try to make your code as flexible as possible, that at least let's say write it once and then run it as much time as possible. So now in a case where you are working on a big project, right, that where you have a style that you might need on different other pages, it's best to use external. Now internal style, now when you start writing bigger project, and then let's say for example you want to you have a particular set of code or style that you just for that particular page, only for that particular page, and then you don't need it any other place, like you don't need it in other pages, right? But you're going to be using it multiple times in a single page. I wish let this thing load finish, so I'll show you something. Now for example, I don't know, let me try to spring up a website. Which website am I going to show? Okay, let me just open up this website now. So basically, now let's say this is your landing page, right? This is your landing page for your own website. And now in this website we have the business page, we have the education page. See, looking down, you see that on the left side, you see that the links are changing. Storyset.com.business, it will change to medical, it will change to technology, right? These are different page. Now let's say we have a particular style. Let's say we want to style this header. This is your header now. This upper here is now your header. This is your nav bar now, right? I know that we need to have this nav bar in every of this page here. In every of this page must have this nav bar, for example. And probably the only thing that is changing is what we have on this header. The nav bar still remains the same, and what is changing is just this header. Now for us to be able to make sure that we don't repeat at each time that we have a nav bar, that we put a nav bar on each of this page, here, you don't have to write the same style for this particular page. You just put it on a standard. So you just have a class or an ID that once you just do, if you create that new what's it called, once you create a nav bar element tag on each of this page, you just put in that style and then it automatically looks like this. Now on each page, let's say our header has to change to a different color or a different stuff. So some pages, because we are on landing page, you just need to have this search, right? And maybe in a couple of these pages there's no need for this search and this illustration here, this text, this big text here, what we have here now. You can put this in internal on the top. Now here, now looking at this now, you notice something here, that each of these thing, like I explained, this is a section on its own, and then this section has a div that has an image inside it, right? Now, so let's say we have 50 of these images now, and then we are trying to use inline styling, inline. So imagine that you have to write 50 of this, like you have to write the same style 50 times. Do you understand the scenario here now? So now, because this particular style is based for this page only, we can now move the style for this individual div and section to the internal, to the internal style. I don't know if I'm making sense, right? Now, let's say for
Yeah,
example,
the head.
yeah. So because you're going to be using that particular style only on this page, right? Multiple times. So we can just put it on the internal. That's on the top style. Now, if you have a particular what's it called, a particular style that you just need once, do you understand? And we don't need it any other
Yes.
place. For example, let's say we just want to make this red, and we don't have to make any other text red. You understand? You can just put an inline styling to just make this red. You don't need to put it on internal or external. I don't know if that's making sense to
Okay.
you. So
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
this is the basic way to use it. But most times for readability and for our HTML, it's better to just separate consigned, like separate your your styles from your what's it called, from your code. So basically, most of your styles should just be on your what's it called, on this style.css, and then you just call it using the external link, like the way we had it here. I don't know if I'm making sense. So that's the
Yeah,
first
sure.
question. So the second question.
Um, so the second question is with regards to the colors, the color kind
Yeah.
that we want to use. Like there's
Yeah.
the traditional one, there's X, there's this and
Yeah.
that. So I want to ask. So I understand that you can X is actually better to use X because you can actually like use like a kind of variant of color that is
Yeah.
probably not popular or probably not the name.
Yeah.
So now as if I noticed that RGB is kind of and X is kind of like easier to use because in
Mm-hmm.
RGB you can make the color thick and you can make it not so
No tick.
thick.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask if we can just stick to RGB instead of like adopting any other version.
Okay. So basically, okay. Let me pull up this Figma file. I'm not supposed to show you this because this is a project for a client, but either way, let me just show you this. Right, let me just show you guys an example of something that, so now, so each color style has where you can use it and where basically you need to use it, right? Now, RGB allows you to tweak the same way hex allow you to tweak, right? So now, then the RGBA allows you to add opacity to your styles. Do you understand? Now, when you start building, because we are going to, basically, we are just building up our background. We are just building up background. So now, basically, I think from Thursday, the next video I'm going to show you, I'm going to take up a Figma file,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'll implement my own, then I'll give you guys assignments, and then ask you guys to implement yours, right? Because it doesn't make sense to know how to write CSS basically, and you can't even really apply it on a real life scenario. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me personally, I prefer this type of learning where
Yeah, sure.
you are learning and then you can apply whatever you are learning to something. So okay, let this spring up, let this open to okay. Which one am I going to show? Which one am I going to show? I'm trying to look for one that is not okay. So let's take this. Okay, there's not much this thing on this one. Wait, I'm looking for one that has a very dynamic style. Let me just show you something. But I like showing real life example on things. So it's like taking time. I'm just looking for a project that it's safe to show. Because some of these project has what's it called, has non-disclosure agreement attached to it, right? So I'm trying to play a bit safe. I hope you guys understand me, please. Mm, okay, yeah, get linked. I think we can use this one. Why is this us opening? Um, network. Okay, opening a new tab. Let's open this guy in a new tab. Which other one? Which other one that's looking for one that has a lot of styles that we can just go through. So now, depending on so in the basic essence, what I'm trying to explain using this open this Figma file, I'm opening design, I'm opening is that basically there's no straight through, right? Now, when you look at a project, probably let's say you have dynamic what's it called dynamic color on it, like this is not pure blue, this is not red, or this is like they are not static colors. Because I said something on that video that the only colors that your laptop, your system only knows is red, green and blue.
Three.
That's the only three color. So every other
Mhm.
thing that you see on your screen, on your computer screen, is the manipulation of red, green and blue. You understand? So some percentage of red mixed with enough percentage of blue
Yeah.
and green will give you each of any other color that you see on this screen. And I wanted to digress a bit on the video, but at some point I had to stop because I was moving like very deep to like I don't know like I'm trying to as much as possible to make this class as simple as possible and at the same time like give value as possible. So now is either you can use the X, right? Because some of this Figma file has X. Some of the Figma file doesn't have X. They have static color. Some other ones have RGB colors. You understand? So depending on the requirement of what you are designing. So looking at
So,
this particular application. Okay, this particular application. If you look at this now, this doesn't have static color. So I don't know if my screen is wide enough. Right? If you look at this is dynamic,
yeah.
right?
Mhm. Yeah.
These are dynamic. This one are static colors, right? But look at this place. So
Yeah.
these are dynamic colors. Now, so depending on what you are designing, do you understand? So whatever you're going to use depends on what you are designing. Okay, I don't. Okay, can I see properties? Oh, I don't have editing. Let's see. Oh, can't edit this one. Okay, let's open some. Let me open the one I have full control over. Um, oh, good. I guess I'll start giving my own personal Figma designs. So you can just use one for texting. Because most of these things they are non-disclosure. So I can't really open it up here, and I don't know how long this video is going to be online. And people that will see this video, so I don't get sued. So I'm looking for simple ones. Okay, I think this one is community. Yeah, this guy is community owned. So I think I'm free to open this. Why is there no open design? Just give me a sec, guys. That door is open. That door is open. I put it on here. Stop my. On my phone. But I expect that we do my button. Okay. So yeah, this is what I want to show you. So for this particular one, why is it blur? Okay, I'm still on the call. Why is that is blur? What's happening? Ah god. I don't know why this guy is blur now. But I think he's still loading. Okay. That was just basically you can just I wanted to show you from this Figma files. I don't know why it's a bit blur. Okay, I think if I lose somebody Mommy, I know you could Mommy, because you want better. So basically look at this one. This is a simple design. And then if you notice like the colors are not that what's it called? There are no plenty colors here apart from these images. Like it's just pure white and then mixture of this particular color. Do you understand? So basically what I'm trying to just show you is that based on what you have on your Figma file or on the design that you are doing as an engineer, depends on what you're going to be using. So either you're going to be using RGB or X or hex. But basically anytime you can achieve with RGB, you can still achieve it with that hex. The same way, even on what's it called, whatever color that you're using. Either there's another one HXL. So that HSL most of the times we use it for image, right? But either way, anything that you use on the same value type, that HSL, X and what's it called? Which other one? Which other one again? RGB. So three of them are using the same syntax, right? So nothing much. So that's it. So please, the next question. I don't know if do you understand what I was trying to explain?
Sure.
Okay, the next one. So
the next one. So yeah, you during the class you mentioned that when we want to use class in the body, then we need to ensure that we use dots in the style and the whole section.
So okay,
the ID goes with hashtag. Yeah, I understand that both are more or less the same thing. So I just want to ask, just as my previous question, can we just stick to class or can we just stick to ID?
So okay, see the rule that what happened is that over the period of time, so generally there's this rule in CSS, right? Designers came up with. So the rule is that if you want to have, let's say for example, you want to have a style, you want to name a particular tag, and then you just want it's going to be for only once. Like for example, let's say I want to add a style to only this p tag, and I don't want that style to maybe later I don't want to add it to all these other p tags, for example. So I'm going to be using ID. Right now, if I have a style that I'm going to still be applying on different other style and different other what's it called, different other tags, right? Sorry for using variable for JavaScript, right? So I'm going to be using class. You understand? If you have a style that you want to apply on multiple elements, use class. If you have a style that you're going to be applying only on one element, use ID. That's just the rule. That's just what's it called, the rule. That's how like it just goes. So nothing much, nothing less.
Okay. But Do you feel there could be probably, I know even if there's an issue, eventually we'll get to choose with while working, but do you think there is like an issue if I decide to use class all through?
No, there's no issue. There's no
Just
issue.
as, okay,
There's no issue.
okay,
There's no issue. So
alright. Let's understand. Yeah,
so the
the
last.
next one,
Mm,
which I actually noticed the last time. So in the head section,
mm,
I understand that that is where we put our styles when we are using internal styling,
yeah.
right? So now, I on my web page, I'm actually including a section that reads about me,
Mm,
another section that I'm to include a box that will include sections where someone will fill in his details or something. So I know
yeah.
that I will probably need like two styles. Right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask if I can include everything inside one style on the top section, or I can use one style for the about me section. Then I'll close that, then open another style under it for the box section.
Yeah, you can basically if you look at I think I'm looking for where I did that style, right? Okay, so let me just shift this a bit so I'll show you guys something here. Okay, let me zoom out a bit. So now basically let's say I have a style. So I'm using this inline styling, this inline internal styling, right? Now notice something, I have different styles. So once I create with the class name or maybe ID name, right? So once I have that ID name and then after putting up my style, I can just close it, come up, scroll down. As far as I'm within, as far as I'm inside as far as I'm inside what's it called? As far as I'm inside this style tag, it's still going to happen. So you can have as many styles that like style name that you want. So it's not limited to one or two or
Inside,
three. Inside this
so
style tag.
okay, I can inside the style tab. I
Yeah.
don't need to close this one and open another one.
Yeah, no. Inside this one style tag. Notice like I have this is the first style. This one was when I was showing you guys how to use ID on internal.
Yeah.
This was when I was showing you guys how to use tag by tag name. This one is when I was showing
Okay.
you how to use class. So all of them are within this style tag. So I just once you wrap it
Okay.
up inside this, so you can have as many as like down, right?
Okay. Okay.
That's the last question, right?
That's basic. Yeah, the only one question is with regards the assignments. I mean the first one.
The first one. More you've taken all the
Yeah,
notes.
you
Wait,
said,
wait, someone of you have questions to ask. Please, wait, chill.
yeah,
Ask, drop it on the group. So who else have question, please? After 12 more minutes. Wait. Okay. Who else have more questions? Who else has a question? Someone was asking me.
Concerning the
Okay.
yeah, I what I messaged you about this evening on the recipe writing the writing code there.
What? Sorry, I didn't get. What did you say? I didn't hear your
What
question.
I told you about what I told you about the recipe like the way that I do it, the assignment and the issue you want to do the web the new one you are writing the calculator, the new one.
Can you
So
come
I was
closer?
asking you
Okay.
whether
Okay.
I'm to delete so that the current one I'm writing so
No, like that same assignment. Let's say for example, this I have this what's it called? This project name, HTML semantic tags. Now you can create new files. Like let's say you have your assignment. Let's say your assignment folder, like your assignment project. Let's say this is the assignment project now. For each assignment, you can create a new file here. Do you understand? Create a new file. Name it what the assignment name is. For the one that you have to write code, just create a new file, click on new file, let the assignment, all of the assignments be together on this particular this thing. So it will be easier for you. So you don't have to create like different folders, different projects for each assignment.
Okay, okay. And please, and the APC.
Okay, someone asked me a question on WhatsApp. Let me look for that question on WhatsApp. Someone was asking me that, but once he clicks on this one, it only shows the first one. That's this index page. So if the person wants to view this second one, so how is he going to be able to see it? So basically, all you just have to do, since because now every HTML, every page starts with every HTML project, like a website, every website starts with index.html. So what happens is that whenever the browser runs your application or your website after you have finished building it locally, once you deploy, so so basically how the computer knows which one to show you as the landing page, like once you come in here, it's anyone you name the index page. So if I name this week 2 index page, once I load this thing or once I host this thing online, Google is going to, my web browser is automatically going to open up this as the first landing page. So this index page denotes that this is the entry point of that website. Now, if you want to load any other website, any other parts of the website, like let's say this week 2, it's what's it called? It's what's it called? A new link. So I can just come to this place, type in the name of this week. So I'll do week 2.html and then click on enter. So it's coming up. So this is what we have on this our week 2 page. I don't know if it's making sense to you guys. Now index page, this index page donates that this is the landing page. Now automatically by default, once you load this page, once you load this project, you're going to start with this index page. Now if you want to navigate to other pages within that website, then you use what's it called, use the name at this top slash the name at the top. So any other question? Any other question? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, sure.
So if any okay, you can ask your question. I think nobody wants to ask another question. So just ask your own. So we just round up with yours.
Okay, yeah. The first assignment you mentioned ah, you mentioned we should list 10 measurement variables.
Yeah.
So I want to ask if what you meant by measurement variables, is it the stuff like 10 px, which is 10 pixels, 20% and the likes, or you mean sorry?
That was what I meant.
Oh, okay. That's it from me. The last one is more like a request with regards to the assignment. I don't know if it will be convenient, but it's just like a request or probably a suggestion, though.
Okay.
Uh, the assignment. So this is what this this classes mean personally to me. So I see it more like a class where I can learn. So personally, it's not about the assignments to me and about submission and the deadlines. It's about what I can do after the whole program.
Yeah.
So, and the best way I can actually do that is when I learn something from the class, I put it into practice, probably by assignments and like, and I take it back to the instructor to confirm if I made any mistake, then probably correct myself. Especially a couple of the last few assignments we've done. So I don't know if there is a way we can actually make the instructors to actually ensure that we try to look at all the assignments, either we submitted late or not. Like just try to have a look at it, even if we don't get the marks because we didn't submit early. But just try to look at probably give a review or feedback. Okay, you made mistakes here and there. Especially in this case where we are not really that much in the cohort. So I feel it's like probably something that might be possible. It depends on your schedule anyway. But I just feel that way it would make everyone learn probably better because like I don't know about others, but I feel that some people probably once they see that they've missed the first assignment, they missed the second assignment, they'll feel like okay, the instructor said after we miss 5 assignments, we did it out, so they'll just feel kind of reluctant to continue with the problem.
Okay. So so for this, I'm going to try very hard. So okay. See what will happen. See what will happen. See what will happen. Okay. See what will happen, right? I'm trying so hard. I don't know how we're going to fix this. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Good. Okay. Now, okay. See what will happen here. Couple of persons reached out and then they gave me the assignment. Even though like the assignment, like the mission for the deadline is over, right? And I told them I'm going to go through the assignment, right? So what I wanted to do was when I'm going through like this one you guys submitted last plus this, like I'll just do everything together and then still give feedback and review, right? So even if you base the assignment, right, you meet the deadline, okay. I don't want it to be in a situation where you just relax because okay, because if you miss it and you can still go through that assignment that you just relax and then miss the assignment. I don't want it to be that this thing. I don't know. I don't know if you get my point, right? I don't want.
Yeah,
Yeah, so people just start doing that if they mix assignment because they know like I will still go through that assignment. They'll just submit it back and then maybe come to my DM and be like, okay, please go through the assignment. Then I'll go through the assignment and give them the review of feedback, right? But basically, instead of doing it that way, right? I guess since I want to start making it like I'll do 2 hour or 1 hour mark 1 hour or something minutes video first and then in depth like teach so that we don't rush like okay look at the one we're having in our class today now at least I did an in-depth video first and then this is more of a question and interactive section than me trying to struggle to teach and at the same time do like it doesn't really tally and match. So what we want to do is that what I'm going to do is that okay, two things I'm going to try to make sure that like so you guys do the assignment is that I'm going to be trying to like if it is 8 o'clock, let's say on Thursday now 8 o'clock Thursday sharp, you're going to be having your live video. I'm going to like try as much as possible. No matter how technical barriers or whatever, maybe network or any other like I'll just try as much as possible to have your video live that night, right? And then the Q&A section and then my DMs are always open, right? So for you now, let's say for example, you want me to look at your work, you can still reach out to me personally, and then I can look at your work. But I don't want you guys to take that window as like say like for granted and then just relax and then you don't do the assignment. Because for me personally, I've already learned it, I'm working and I'm doing well for myself. But I really want to like if you come out tomorrow and see you went through this boot camp and it is syntax that really tutored you guys that at least you're like okay this guy really did his best and at least thank god I took the class, right? I don't want a situation that you go through this class and then it doesn't really benefit you, right? So if you
exactly.
notice the whole class I'm trying to use as much as examples as possible as minimal terminology that will just make things off like as simplified as possible with jokes with every other thing. So I just want you guys to learn. That's the goal. Then I want at the end of this now you look back, you understand? Because most of those stuff that I'm adding, most of those in-depth knowledge like HTTP servers, all of those things, most of them like almost bootcamp is not well you don't see them on their curriculum, but I'm just taking out my time, my research like just to teach. I just want to pour out like more. You understand? So because
Gotcha.
I did self-taught, nobody taught me all of these things. It took me 2 years to really figure out what I was doing in tech. Like seriously, it took me 2 years. Like I was hitting my head on the ground for like 2 years. So all of these things that I laugh about and then teach was things that I cried before learning them. So I really want other people to learn because I told myself the help that I did not get when I was growing up in this industry, I'm going to give it out, and that's what I'm doing here, right? So
Yeah, sure. No worries. Thank you.
so I'm going to give after this class now. I'm going to drop the link for the submission of the assignments. So I'm going to for some reason maybe probably you did not understand my video or something. So I'm going to just extend the submission deadline to 11 a.m. of tomorrow morning instead of 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, right? So if you've not watched the video, so go and watch the video, do the assignment. Because now from the next video I'm going to be dropping tomorrow evening, right? We are going to be building, and you need the in-depth knowledge of whatever I did on the first one to be able to follow up with the second one. So if you not watch, like if let's say if you missed any of this recording, go and watch this recording. Take your time. You understand? So someone has a
Yeah.
question to open up. So you can ask your question, Samuel. Okay, you can unmute and ask your question, Samuel.
So, okay.
No, ask.
Yeah,
It's the timer.
can you create new like in that reference now? Can you create new out there? Or like yeah, new account, can you create new one there?
Yeah, you can create you one with a different email. As you can create as much as you want with different emails. As far as like you have a different email, so you can just create. Let's say you have like 3 emails. You can create with those 3 emails and then do your stuff. Experiment.
Okay, you can use one like
Yeah, once let's say because
double
no,
account
no,
or
no, no, you
something.
cannot use one email for double account. So we have 16 more minutes to go. So we have 16 more minutes to go. So any more questions, concern?
Um, sorry. I
Okay.
want to ask that where are we submitting the assignment?
Okay, I'm going to be dropping the link for where you guys are going to drop the assignment. After this call, immediately after this call, max 20 minutes after this call, I'm going to be dropping the link on where you guys are going to submit the assignment. Right. So for me to give windows to people who are busy, and because I know on my own part, I was supposed to drop this video yesterday night and I did not. So in a way of compensating so that all of us will be on the same page, I'm going to be extending the what's it called, the time frame from instead of 8 a.m. like I said to what's it called, to 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. So you have from this night to 11 a.m. to just watch the video, do the assignment. It's just a simple assignment though, right? But you just need to watch the video and do the assignment, submit before 11 a.m. right? So I hope we are all good. So how is the internship going so far? I hope you guys are learning.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what about the pre-recorded videos? Am I too fast or am I too slow? Or are there any improvement that you guys can point out that I can make, like review?
Nothing from me. Something I noticed on my RP today is that it's showing me I've used all my development time.
Okay. Okay. You have three. Okay, further 3 projects. So for us to not like finish up, okay, already I have two on this app, on this particular account. So what I suggested is that have one assignment. Let's say for example, create a new account, have one assignment folder, like one assignment like this now in this assignment folder, so it's going to be easy. Each assignment that you have to write code, create a new file and name it the assignment name. Do you understand? So when you want to preview whatever you are doing on that particular file, just click on this place, add the name of the file like I did here, click on enter, it's going to show you whatever you have here, right? You understand? And then another thing is that, okay, let me point out this. You can have as multiple, you don't have to have one CSS file on your code though. You can have as many CSS files as possible, as far as you have .css at the end, and as far as whatever you are calling, when you are calling it from the external, when you are calling it from this what's it called, where's that place, when you are calling it from this side, that you are adding the exact name here, it's going to work.
Okay. Yeah.
You understand? So because there's something I talked about. I talked about extensions. I talked about extensions in the video. So I was trying to explain that the main thing that this thing needs is this extension, right? So basically, your computer is like when they said a computer is an idiot machine. A computer is an idiot machine actually. So what happens is that your computer doesn't really know how to handle any of these files that you are seeing. Any of these things, the computer doesn't really know how to handle them. Now what happens is that because you have apps like VLC for playing videos, you have different web browsers. Like for example, I think I have 3 web browsers. I use 2 most of the time. Okay, I have Brave, I have Google Chrome, right? Now the computer doesn't really know how to handle any .html file or .css file, right? So now, okay, let's do an experiment. Basically, let me open my file system. Let's do an experiment. Let me show you guys something. Right, let me create, okay, let me go to my desktop. Let me create one random file and then name it something. So show me a way to create file here. So I'll just do new, okay, file. Then you see it has .txt, so I'll call this maybe test, and then let me have it as dot something word rtf something this. Now let me save it. So okay, I saved it now, so we have it now. So if I double click on this, it's going to ask me which app do you want me to use and open this. Do you understand? Because I have a file extension that it doesn't, that like for example, no app on my system has indicate interest that you can like the operating system can use that particular app to open up this file extension. So it's asking me look for more apps. So now if I choose any of this app, for example, let me say I want to choose VLC, what happens is that it's asking me always use VLC to open anything that has to do dots, ROET, whatever. This is not actually any file extension, it doesn't have any meaning. I'm just doing a random stuff to show you guys what happens, right? That's the same way that each time that it sees any extension that is recognized, so it will go through the list of the app that you have on your system that indicated and said when what's it called, when it's being installed, they said okay, I basically open videos, I can play anything that has to do with video. So now it goes through the list, fetches all of them, and then be like which one of these things do you want me to use, right? Once you click on that, once you click on it and then accept that particular app and then say always use it, automatically whenever it is the extension with that app, it's going to automatically use that particular app to open it. So now here what we just need to add, if I want to have, I can have as many HTML files as possible. Like I had with 2, I can have as many HTML files as possible. Just make sure you are maintaining what's it called, the naming convention that I asked you guys, the camel, or you're using camel keys or you're using underscore, right? So this I can because this is already a text, I can name this so let's say for example I want to have week 2, I can just do week 2 underscore class, right? So this is still readable either way, or I can use camel keys and do week 2 then class. The only difference is that a number cannot start my file name. I cannot have a number at the beginning of my file name. I cannot have some special characters apart from, I think the only special character that's allowed is I can't remember the one. There's one that's allowed, only one special character is the only one allowed, right? On the system to use and open up and to use and create a file name basically. So I guess that's the wrap. we spent nine. We have 9 more minutes. I think I've handled all the questions, objections.
I have a question.
Okay.
I thought you said the camel case should every letter should start with a capital letter or something.
Now for camel case, apart from this first letter here, the each other words on this name should start with what's it called? Should the first letter should start. Let's say I want to have okay. Let's say for example I want to change this to the which word? Well, okay. CSS class. Let's say CSS class. Maybe playground, for example. Playground, right? Now, if you're using camel keys, so what it means is that this is going to be capital C. These are going to be capital P. These camel keys. Apart from this first one, apart from the first word, each other word, the first letter on each other word is going to start with capital letter. If you are using underscore, what it means is that here, basically, we have our underscore here. I have our underscore here. Either you use this underscore or you use the camel case. Right? There's no like musical, there's no rigid rule to say you must use either camel case or like either one that either one that resonates with you, right? So on some code base, I don't know, let me check if I can pull up a code base here from my system. I'm looking for let me look for a project, right? Okay, I'm looking for this is smart contracts. Looking for where I wrote a lot of code. Okay, look at this now. Okay, basically, okay, let me just give you this a mini project, a smart contract project, a token that was creating my own coin, right? Now look at this here. So I'm going to increase this a bit. So if you look at this, I don't know. Am I slow? How many minutes more do we have on this course so that I don't? Okay, you see, I have a lot of time, 6 more minutes. So it's still loading. So I'll just basically increase this font size. So notice this thing here. Notice this guy for here now. I'm using what's it called? I'm using camel key. So get right, and contract factory. So this C is capital letter. This one is capital letter. So depending on what